Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello, Spencer.
Yeah.
I'm Biniam.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise, dear. Welcome to your baby Friday.
Thank you. Not quite there, but almost.
Oh, you mean Friday?
Yeah.
I call my Thursdays baby Friday.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's gonna grow up eventually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough. That's a nice way to look at it.
I find it a promising way.
Yeah, no kidding. Much more optimistic.
I have been accused of such on occasion. I'm gonna say, Spencer, this is a really friendly start to a day for you, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to be at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes.
Quite ideal.
Yeah, I get a couple days like that a week where I don't have to be at work till a little later. It's very nice.
Did you choose your career based on that spec?
Oh gosh, no. No. I work in social services.
Okay.
So I knew I would kind of just be at the mercy of the job. I just got lucky.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. You knew that you were going to be, like, you already knew what you were getting into when you got into social services.
Well, I mean, in a sense.
In a sense, yeah. Like, it is a very energy invested field, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, you have to be passionate about it for sure. But
did you have the ability or the coaching before you got into it to also know how to regulate expectations? Because I'm imagining, like, aspiring social workers who are so vested in coming and making a huge difference, but then at some point along the course of their journey, maybe you like flaming out because it takes a lot out of them than they're able to put into it.
Yeah, you know, I think school didn't really prepare me for a lot of things I was gonna see, and I don't think it's possible to go into it knowing exactly how taxing it's going to be, or like, I think even we talk a lot about theoretical things in school, I find, and you deal a lot in how to manage others, I think, but less so in how to manage yourself as you go forward. Definitely a skill you have to learn on your own.
I see.
Yeah.
Is there more familiarity or like awareness of that component now, or it's still do your own adventure?
Oh yeah.
Survive by your own skills.
For sure. I think I'm definitely still learning. I'm pretty new to it. Still.
Oh, you are? Okay.
No, I only graduated last year. So I'm still learning, still new, still surprised by things every day.
Okay.
So it's a learning curve, but I'm lucky to have a lot of people smarter and more experienced than me around me to help.
That is helpful.
Yeah, it's been really nice that way.
What are some of the surprising discoveries you're like, ooh, didn't see this on the radar, but there it is?
Jeez, I think my surprise coming into it, now that I think of it, you're kind of ready for the ups and downs of what you're going to see from people, but I think what surprises me a lot is what I see from my coworkers as well.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to be a downer.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see people who work in the same field as you make decisions where my team will say, like, wow, we never would have considered that, never would have thought that to be a possibility.
Yeah.
Maybe don't agree with it, but we have to learn how to accept it and go with it anyway.
Gotcha.
And that has been, I think, the biggest thing for me, is learning that you kind of have to, sometimes you're at the mercy of the people you work with.
Gotcha. And like, I guess what's available or on offer in those settings.
Sorry?
Seeing what's available or on offer with
that's right. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A lot of my close friends are psychologists. I remember talking to one once, and I was asking how, like, how she was able to, I guess, get through in her own personal life, the things that she helps others with in their personal lives. And she said something, it surprised me when I heard it. She said something like, actually, I don't know if I have. That's why I'm in this career.
Yeah.
I'm still sort of sorting this out for myself, even while I, step in the gap and serve others in this capacity too.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that insightful, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think it's very true.
Mm-hmm.
I think lots of people are drawn to the social sciences for that reason. But I think it is really amazing what you can learn from other people. I think one of the more positive things I've come away with so far is because the unfortunate part of my job is I often see people on their worst day. Usually with children is who I end up dealing with, and it's almost inspiring to see how some of these children can be so strong and so capable, and you wouldn't think necessarily that you'd be looking up to these kids in your career like, wow, like that, I can take something away from this. I can, for a little kid who's confused and scared and doesn't know what's going on, to go forward with this strength into a situation that most people I know probably wouldn't be able to handle. It's pretty incredible. And so I think part of going through this career is learning how to take those small things from people to help yourself as well.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's you got to take what you can. For sure.
If there was a collective superpower that those in your industry have or should have to like really thrive and contribute in impacting ways, what would that be, do you think?
Oh man.
And it's very stereotypical, like just the broad range, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think, man, maybe in terms of the ability to help, it seems maybe counterintuitive. Yeah. But what would be helpful in my mind is the ability to be invisible.
Ooh. Because, tell me more.
Well, because a lot of the time when I'm trying to help kids, it's usually you're at odds with a lot of people who are trying to tell you a lot of different stories about things that are going on, and to be able to be invisible in a situation where nobody knows you're there, and to see something exactly how it's happening and exactly for what it is, I think that would solve 60% of the problems that we end up seeing in our field of people who aren't, we like to say are maybe truth challenged.
I'm gonna use that. That's good.
Who maybe, aren't the best at telling things the way they happen. And being able to just know for yourself and help the people in these situations that way, I think that would be the best.
Okay. So, practically speaking, how could that look? Because I like the idea and the theory behind it, but practically, how would you apply being invisible in those settings?
Well, I think maybe it's not ethically the most sound, but approaching it, I guess it would be being in, because oftentimes, for example, with children and the parents, we have meetings for them. And we have visits that they can see each other. To sit in one where nobody thought they were being watched.
Oh, I see.
To know that they were being supervised, but maybe didn't know that you were sitting right there watching what was happening.
Right. Almost like you're the forgotten factor.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Exactly. Because I think people's behaviors do change when you have somebody sitting right there watching.
Right. But sort of like the fly on the wall, literally dynamic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I think could ethically be done if there was, I don't know, a poster or something that said, hey, by the way, this is a supervised zone or whatever.
No, absolutely.
And I imagine that would be also a challenge in the sense that you're just data gathering and not projecting or anything like that.
Exactly.
That would break the dynamic, I guess, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because often it's what we will do.
Yeah.
Is we'll sit and just supervise and watch.
Yeah.
But of course, being there writing notes, I think like anyone, you're monitoring your own behavior and how you're acting, and like, oh, what are you writing? What are you thinking about me?
Right. Yeah.
So it would be interesting to have that environment where that's not a factor.
How about if they would implement, I don't know, like video instead of the writing for review later?
Yeah, that might be interesting.
Yeah.
There's so many sticky little things about ethics around these things that are so hard to navigate.
Gotcha.
But I think
it
would be worth looking into, I think, because the other issue is if there's a video that everybody can review, it's sometimes better than one person's subjective observation about what's happening. Because ultimately, even though I would love to watch everything myself, my perspective is often different than my colleagues, and often they'll provide me with insight that I didn't have before. So having that medium to kind of go through so everybody can work on it together might be really beneficial.
I think so. Yeah. So a year into this career of yours, and I would love to even hear why you even wanted it in the first place, but a year in, do you have like a fantasy that sometimes tickles your fancy, whereby you're like, if I could accomplish something huge in this field, it would be this, something that you observed along the way, or something you're like, oh man, this would be a really happy like thing that I'd love to strive for?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the career that I'm in, being like there's a clear way up as a caseworker,
Right?
But I think in this field, you have to consider just the act of helping to be the achievement. I don't know that there's like to have.
See, I'm thinking of like the teacher, for example, who loves teaching and that's their passion, and they would want to stay there for the whole career, but then they see or observe some things along the way where they're like, no one's stepping in the gap over here, and if no one's doing it, someone's got to do it. I'm going to sacrifice my indulgence in this happy zone to accomplish something more significant for many more that's going to impact so many thousands more students. Something along those lines.
I see. I think then if that were the case, if there were an aspect of the field that I would be able to step in and make a change.
Yeah.
I suppose it would be in the area of recruitment for foster families and for adoption and things like that. I find that area of this field is very underfunded.
I see.
In fact, we just cut funding to that sector of children and family services entirely. And
I see.
there are, unfortunately, too many people who are doing it for the paycheck that comes with it and not for the care of the child.
I see.
And I think
That's sad.
it is.
That's
and
sad.
So I think awareness around that, advocacy for these children, vetting homes, things like that. I think that would be an amazing place to dive into, even though it's a difficult area to disrupt.
Sure.
At the moment, I think that would be really rewarding, because at the end of the day, these kids have to leave my care at some point. You know, they have to either go back to the families that they originally came from, or find a new family to love them. And I would love to be a part of them finding just that perfect place to go. You know,
like an advocate who's dedicated to bringing attention to the need here.
Yes, absolutely. Because in the area I'm in, there's only so much you can do. You know, you have to eventually find somewhere for these kids to go, and sadly, it's not always the best fit or whatever. So I think it would be great to be able to spend more time on that.
Amazing. I have one final query for you. This one here, I would love a no answer. Let me just preface by saying that. That's a good. When I don't do this is my full-time gig, but I love sharing amazing ideas on my platforms online. This conversation, I'm like, holy crap, I would love for my audience to like have access to like some of the insights in this one here. I never though post unless I have enthusiastic consent, because it's a big deal when you're asking to like share time with someone. Now you're off camera per se, but would you be comfortable with that idea? And that's why I say a no answer is totally like welcomed as well.
No.
So you don't feel that sense of like, oh, I want to support you, but I don't feel comfortable, you know.
No, that's totally fine. Honestly, yeah, as long as my face isn't in it, I'm happy to.
Your voice is recorded though.
That's
You're
okay.
okay with that? Okay.
Yeah, that's
cool.
okay. No, that's totally fine. Just that little confidentiality
Absolutely.
piece. But
Absolutely.
no,
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, yeah, that's
I'd
totally
be
fine.
thrilled, yeah. Again, it's like these kind of conversations that you don't necessarily get to have on the regular, right? Until it's kind of like, well, that's why I love this job, for example, is I never know where, where the conversation's going to go, but there's some beautiful and impacting themes and ideologies, I think, that are well worth expanding the conversation around.
Yeah.
And a huge point is just, well, what access points are there along the way that facilitate said conversations? So, thank you. I'd be thrilled to share our time.
Yeah, of course. No, that'd be great. I think it's one of those things. It's one of the fields in Alberta, especially, that gets overlooked a lot of the time. And I would be super pleased if I could help kind of spread some awareness just about the idea that, you know, there's a lot of kids that need a lot of help in our province and in our country. You know?
And I love that idea, especially of asking who are the mouthpieces, who are the influencers, the advocates to bring light to and tell their story. I remember going to an art exhibit one time, and it was showing the pictures of all these individuals in the transit community in a city. You know, a dumpster driver, troubled teen, all the just snapshots. You look at the picture, you're like, okay, I think I understand it. But then beside it was this write-up that said, this is so-and-so, this is their name, this is the background that they came from, here's how you find them in this moment in the picture, here's the moments that preceded what came to this point here. And in a beautiful way, it really humanized that individual from I see and I've told my story, to holy crap, there's way more that I didn't see until someone told this story, right? And so I wonder how powerful that is when you get that chance to be able to share someone's story that way.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed my time with you, Spencer. Thank you.
I did too. It was a pleasant surprise.
Surprised in what way?
Yeah.
Surprised in what way?
Oh, just in that, I mean, I don't know, oftentimes these rides are quiet, and that's okay too, but it's nice to have a good conversation every now and again.
I agree. Have a great Baby Friday, dear.
Thank you. You as well. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to tell everybody about that now.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, Spencer.
Bye.